I'm your host Harry, and today we'll be looking at a 1959 pink Cadillac project that's been waiting for 11 years. We will be going to a Southern Ohio Fall Steam Festival. We'll be taking a look at some highlights from some of the car shows in the area, as well as viewing some classics that have unfortunately been scrapped before their time. So stick around and let's take a look. This 1959 Cadillac has been waiting patiently since I acquired it more than 11 years ago. In that time, a lift was installed in the garage, so getting the car out took some time, especially as the brake was stuck on one of the front wheels. This car was refinished sometime in the 90s in this color, and when I acquired it had been sitting outside for a few years. It's time for me to get to these projects, and over the coming episodes I plan to get this car running and driving. The 59 Cadillac has always been one of my favorite cars, perhaps not in this color. It's an extravagant car in all aspects, with the highest tail fins ever on a production car. In the city of St. Louis in 1959, a parking company took out newspaper advertisements banning these cars from their parking lots because of the legal responsibilities for damage due to the car's size. A local Cadillac dealer tested the claim, scraped a post, and the ban stood until the ramps could be changed. This pink model is a Coupe de Ville, one of about 22,000 built. It has the 390, the 6.4 liter, and is just under 19 feet long. It's about 5.7 meters. First thing to do in order to move it around and get it onto the lift is to get it running. I'm going to be doing that first today. This has been one of my projects, waiting and waiting and waiting for a long time, and it's about time I get to these projects. So we'll then do a first wash. If you can't see, it's pretty filthy. The interior full of junk. Spare parts, some rubber, brake lines. Under the hood, I haven't opened this hood since 2011. Oh, it's a big air cleaner. Lots of stuff. What's this? Everything should be reasonably original on this. Single brake line, some sort of reservoir, generator. It's filthy. Before I got it, it was sitting outside for years. It was an older restoration. In this choice of color, I think the world is now, for a while there, and about 20 years ago they must have had a shortage of Pepto-Bismol. Broken window. Everything is pink. The door jambs, the dashboard. 72,000 miles. Believed to be original. I have the title for it. It says that's original. Someone's updated the radio with a cassette player. That should give you an idea of when this car was restored. Well, repainted, redone. Carpet is hard to see here. It's fairly gross. There are a lot of small things to fix on it. I don't believe we have a trunk key for this car. The previous owner said that happened to run into him last night. He has never been able to open the trunk, and I can see why. There's no key for the trunk. Fuel filler. Well, no one's going to siphon that. I never remember it's there. We're going to get this running. New bumper ends. Get this running today, get some vehicles moved around in here, and hopefully get this thing back on the road just in time for Christmas. Alright, so we're going to start pulling the plugs, spraying cylinders with the necessary lubricants before we go ahead and turn the car over. Lubricate cylinders and prevent any damage from what we know are completely dry cylinders. Alright, as you can see, I have taken the plugs out and I have used my magic mixture of marvelous product plus diesel, squirted that into the cylinders. These plug wires have nice alignment devices, so it's not hard to keep track of them. I don't have to label them. I know that the ones at the back go to the back. Disconnected the fuel line. I've disconnected the coil. All we need to do now is connect the battery. First I'm going to turn it over once or twice by hand, and then we'll connect the battery and spin it over. Alright, we're ready to turn the car over. I've got battery stolen out of another car. Alright, I don't want to get anything too hot. Don't want to burn the starter out, but that's turning over nicely. Seems free, seems nice and easy. Take a look. Can we see if we've got any spray here? No, you can see in the cylinder, the top of the cylinder head looks, oh sorry, the top of the piston looks a little dirty, but that's to be expected. Some carbon buildup. Same that side. I don't see too much it's actually come out, which means that hopefully it's lined the cylinder walls nicely. That's exactly what we wanted. Now, these plugs came out nice and easily. I purchased some new ones before I parked the car because I knew I was going to need to get them out again, and I put the high temperature silver grease on those. So now I'm going to put the spark plugs back in, reconnect everything. I've got a small section of fuel line which I'm going to run here from the fuel pump. Well, that couldn't be in a more convenient location. Disconnected the fuel line. I'm just going to run a short hose from the fuel pump here. See if we can get it just to fire up. This carburetor is going to need rebuilding. Everything else looks fairly good. Unfortunately, before the era of the overflow tank, we only have a radiator, but there's something in it. There's green in it. That's a good thing. It will probably need a new cap. So we're looking good. I'm going to reconnect everything and we should be ready for a first start here in just a moment.
Hang on. I'll put some more in.
No, it's not. It's got 2 lots in already. It's not sparking. I wonder if has it got spark even?
Did you try the spark with the plug?
No. It was working before, so why wouldn't it work now?
Because the points probably need cleaning, probably
right.
damp.
Just clean the points, don't I? Clean the points.
Where are the points?
Right here.
Is it a dynamo to charge it?
Generator.
A dynamo?
I don't know. He called generators.
And it's got, is it mag ignition or what?
It's got a sticker on it that says it's a sticker here that says Mark 10 Delta powered ignition. Don't know what that means. Whatever it is. A long time since I made those.
Is it a conventional little
I don't know.
distributor with points in it? Let's just go to the loo.
It is. Alright, so we have lubricated the cylinders, we've disconnected the fuel, we've got a little bit of gas down the carburetor, we've cleaned the points, checked the plugs, everything looks good. Runs. Sounds like it's got some noisy lifters, sticking valves, all kinds of fun stuff, but we can get that fixed. Let's go ahead and get a proper fuel source fitted up, and we can go ahead and start the car and run it for more than a split second.
I've got some easy start.
I've got lots of that. Not good to use that for electrical possible. Oh, probably help if we put the air cleaner back on.
Why is the battery like that?
Because the battery's too big for the
So what do you want to do then? Move it back?
I don't want to do anything yet.
You want to run it some more? Well, you hang on, you probably need some more petrol in this now. There was only a tiny bit in there.
Have a look, it shouldn't be. I think the throttle's sticking, the carburetor's bad. On this side, and that
Now that the car runs, it can be moved onto the lift. In the next episode, I'll be starting overhauling the brake system. Earlier this month, we headed to Franklin, Pennsylvania for their annual Applefest, which is 3 days of craft and food vendors, live entertainment, community activities. On Sunday, it's the car cruise, which always draws out hundreds of interesting vehicles. This is a very original-looking 59 Imperial Crown Southampton 4-door. It looks like it's been a local car for quite a while with that old inspection sticker there on the windshield. These might be swivel bucket seats in the front. I would call them semi-bucket seats. It's hard to tell with that blanket there, but those are nice to have. It has fantastic gun sight taillights and the optional flight sweep trunk lid, all part of the Virgil Exner design. The trunk lid gives the impression of a Continental kit, but some people are polarized with their opinions. I prefer this body style to the pillared sedan, as the windows roll down with no central pillar for a more open driving experience. This roof could have been ordered as a Silvercrest optional stainless steel roof, which would have been from the black section in the rear to the front of the roof. That was Chrysler's imitation of the Cadillac Brougham, which had a brushed stainless roof. Standing way out from the crowd, considering the size of this car, this is a massive silver 1930 Pierce Arrow Model B. It dwarfs the Valiant and the Jaguar next to either side of it. This car came out shortly after Pierce's merger with Studebaker. This one has the 366 cubic inch straight 8. With this enclosed body, it will be a very comfortable but imposing car to drive. Sadly for Pierce Arrow and the luxury car sector of the United States in the 1930s, during the Depression, Studebaker couldn't make Pierce profitable as the demand for luxury cars fell each year because of the ongoing depression, and so the company of Pierce Arrow was sold off to some New York investors and went into receivership shortly afterward. But it's great to see such a car still out and about and at shows. 1974 Dodge Monaco that is not a Bluesmobile replica. This one has the factory taxi package, which includes a 360 V8 and the 2-barrel carburetor. The owner tells me that this car was found in northern Ohio and since restored. Unusual to see one back in its original format as a taxi. And you can see the factory lights on the roof that light up along with the turn signals so that traffic can see that the car is pulling out more easily. And the side view mirror on the passenger side so that rear seat passengers can get a better view before they open the doors. This is a 1960 Lincoln Premier. Lincoln had 4 models in 1960, and 2 of them with this roofline, the Premier and the entry-level Lincoln, which was called just that, the Lincoln. Both of those came in the sedan and coupe versions. This is a sedan version. There were 2 sedans, one with a small, thin central B-pillar and one without. This does have the central B-pillar. And this is a Premier. The easiest way to tell are the reading lights on the interior of the C-pillar for the backseat passengers. All Lincoln Premiers had them, and no Lincolns had them. If this car is original, it should have the 430, a 7-liter V8 that was shared with the high-end Edsel, Thunderbird, Mercury, and Ford cars. Finally, here in Franklin, we have this International, I believe it's somewhere around a 1919, in cosmetically as-found condition. You can hear it running as it's on display. It looks very much as though Jed Clampett should step around from the other side. It was pulled from very long-term storage after more than 80 years standing in a barn, and the current owners have rebuilt the mechanical parts of the truck, but kept the patina, which in this case attracts more attention and interest than a restored truck could ever hope to. We're here at the Algonquin Mill Historical Society Fall Festival in southern Ohio, which has steam engines, tractors, plus food, crafts, a car show, an art show, and many more family-friendly activities. This weekend-long event attracts people from all over the region and is in its 50th year.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Yeah, go right ahead.
What would be the advantage of having the steam engine so far from the blade?
Well, you think back when these were used on the farm in Ohio, they did a lot of what they called barn thrashing. They would take the wheat, which was harvested in July, and the oats, which was harvested a little later in the season. They would put it in the barn. And then the custom guy would come around with his thresher and steam engine, go from farm to farm to do this. And put the threshing machine in on the barn floor.
Right.
Steam engines have a fire engine.
Oh, of course you wouldn't want that in the barn.
So how close to the barn do you want that car to
As far as possible. I see.
And then there's a couple of practical other reasons. You familiar with geometry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I set the engine real close to the machinery, the angle that I set to get that belt straight is bad. So if I set it way back here, way back there, I can be off a foot or so and the angle don't get very bad.
Making a difference, I see.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, and then if you just simply the weight of the belt will help keep it tight.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. That's very interesting.
Flat belt like that's one of the most efficient ways to transfer power.
Right.
There's very little friction actually in the on a V-belt. It rubs on the sides of the belt.
Right.
No rubbing here.
No. And what's that made of?
That's canvas.
Canvas.
Rubberized canvas.
A rubberized canvas.
They used leather. How big a bull would you have to make a belt that leather belt that big?
Just cut it in a spiral. That's great.
I saw my voicemails last week. What year is this thing? 1909.
They made them in like November and December and then right into 10. But it's actually the 17th day. 17th was built.
That's the bonnet for it, yeah. It's got two little brass fans down the side there as well. Something so satisfying, isn't there, about something working so well in miniature?
Right.
this place sells this wood?
No, most farmers are bringing their wood now. And they'll load it on the trailers. Some people will use like the rough side of something in there and leave a little bottom.
Right. You're going to send that through that other
Oh, that's a planer.
planer. It's nice. Nice dark wood.
They're cutting with a buzzsaw down there. Ferguson tractor on the other side of the place. Oh, right. It's one of the big ones. We don't see that
You gotta take a look at that.
On a trip to the local recycling facility, or shredder as it's known, I was horrified to see what appears to have been a collection of classic cars, some evidently kept indoors until recently, most of the damage being done by the forklift at the yard. Some of these cars still have their hubcaps, and it looks as though there are replacement body panels in the back of the El Camino. Unfortunately, there is no way to save parts from any of these vehicles, as the international recycling conglomerate that runs this operation have very strict corporate policies. In fact, someone saw me on camera taking these videos, and I was in trouble afterward for straying away from the customer area. I just wonder who could have come into possession of these classic cars and trucks and just had them hauled away. Evidently they were seen as nothing more than trash.
Looks like, yeah, everything's complete under there. No radiator, but everything else. Oh, how sad.
Coming up on the next episode, the pink Cadillac project moves forwards as I redo the braking system. I take a trip to South America and find an unusual US-built jet on display in a suburban park. There's a classic tractor pull event and show to check out, plus an Oldsmobile graveyard and a TV star car surprise. Click the subscribe button to be notified when this episode comes out. Thanks for watching.